In the heart of Lagos, nestled among the elite, lived Chief Olawale Adeyemi, a wealthy Yoruba man from Ekiti, known for his vast riches and titled heritage. His sprawling mansion was home to 3 wives, each with a distinct place in his life. The first wife, Modupe, was a strong-willed businesswoman in her mid-40s, respected in her community and feared for her sharp tongue. She had been with Chief for over 2 decades, and though she never bore him a child, she managed many of his affairs. The second wife, Dr. Fumilayo, was a calm and composed woman in her mid-30s, a well-respected doctor. She balanced a medical career with the demands of a polygamous home. Despite her efforts to conceive, she too had no children. The third and youngest wife, Teniola, was an educated fashionista, an Egba woman in her mid-20s, full of life and beauty. She had entered Chief Olawale's home full of hope and ambition, determined to make her mark. Unlike the first 2 wives, she longed to bear children for her husband and give him an heir. Upon her arrival, the older wives greeted her with warm smiles and a facade of sisterhood. But deep beneath their cheerful welcome lurked dark secret. One evening, the older wives visited Teniola in her quarters. They sat her down and in her hushed voices revealed the truth that had bound them together for years. None of us can give birth, Modupe began, her sharp eyes watching Teniola closely. It was a covenant we made with your husband years ago. Teniola gasped, her heart pounding. But why? Why would you do that? Fumilayo's voice echoed sternly. That is not the bone of contention here. The point is, you can never bear him children, but you must understand, if you try to bear him a child, it will not end well. Teniola, however, was stubborn and fearless. She stood her ground, a defiance radiating through her every word. I'll give him children, no matter what it takes. The older wives exchanged a glance, a silent promise passing between them. We warned you, Modupe whispered darkly. The covenant cannot be broken. If you go against it, you will suffer, and so will your children. Undeterred, Teniola prayed fervently for her womb to be blessed. Months passed, and soon she was pregnant with her first twins. But the joy was short-lived, as one of the twins, while returning from NYSC, a terrible accident claimed the young life. Grief-stricken, Teniola barely had time to mourn when a second child, upon hearing the tragic news, collapsed and died of cardiac arrest. The house fell into a deep, sorrowful silence. The other wives, sensing Teniola's pain, visited her once again. We told you, Fumilayo said, her voice cold with finality. You should have listened. You cannot bear him children while we live, Modupe added. The covenant demands it. Their words echoed in Teniola's mind, but she refused to be defeated. When she found herself pregnant again, she hid the news from everyone, fearful of what the senior wives might do. This turned into weeks, and Teniola was consumed with anxiety. One fateful evening, overwhelmed with grief and fear, she wandered the streets aimlessly. It was there, in the narrow alleyways of Lagos, that she stumbled upon an old woman. The woman was ancient, her face itched with the passage of time, but her eyes glimmered with something otherworldly. When Teniola offered her some food, the old woman smiled, revealing the wisdom of ages hidden behind her wrinkled face. You seek answers, the woman said without prompting, her voice like the rustle of dry leaves. I can see the burden in your heart. You are fighting forces far beyond you. Teniola, taken aback, asked the old woman for help. At first, the old woman was hesitant, but seeing Teniola's desperation, she revealed the dark secrets behind the covenant. The senior wives, the old woman whispered, are powerful witches. They sacrifice their wombs for wealth, but you can break the oath if you're willing to fight. Teniola's heart raced. How? You must perform a ritual, the old woman explained. At midnight, gather sand from the ground. Recite these incantations. Pay in it and consume a small portion of it to fortify yourself. Then enter their power room, the place where they hide their magic. Pour the remaining sand over their symbols of power. Only then will they be destroyed. Teniola left, her mind racing with revelation. That night she stood at the appointed hour, trembling but resolute. She followed the old woman's instructions to the letter, reciting the incantations as she swallowed the grainy earth. Then she made her way to the senior wife's secret chamber. The room was filled with strange symbols, artifacts glowing with an ominous light. Teniola, holding the remaining sand tightly in her palm, stepped forward and scattered it over the symbols. A sudden gust of wind swirled through the room, and a chilling scream echoed as the powers binding the older wives shattered. The next morning, chaos erupted. Modupe and Fumilayo, once proud and composed, were found babbling incoherently, their minds lost to madness. They flee the house, disappearing into the shadows, never to be seen again. Chief Olawale, unaware of the magical battle that had taken place, fell gravely ill. Paralysis gripped him, a consequence of the dark deal he had made. But through Teniola's fervent prayers, the curse began to lift. Slowly, Chief regained his strength and with it a deep remorse for the choices that led to so much pain. In the end, Teniola bore him the child they had longed for. The curse was broken and the mansion, once filled with sorrow and deceit, became a place of healing and redemption. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories. Keep watching and see you soon.